Thoughts on Autism, Part 1. Why be autistic? Well, why be normal? Why accept autism when differences are difficult? Why only focus on things that are comfortable? Instead of asking questions, repeat more and think less. Questions beget too many different answers, even regarding things that are supposed to be factual. Clinging to opinions often rewards more than clinging to truths. To be approved, to fit in. Is that a conscious choice for the majority of the population? How should I know, really? Approval and disapproval were hints on whether I could survive the next day or be chased out by an angry mob. Do as the Romans do, but only in Rome. Let those weirdos think into misfortune and insanity, and even if they were geniuses, so what? There were happy extroverts before Tesla and Einstein, and there are similarly happy people after, speaking with the same limited knowledge and dearth of curiosity. Autistic people might commit the sins of being fascinated by grass, maybe not counting individual blades. Were all scientists somewhat autistic? They might ogle at the grass's different color, length, and growing speed, categorizing them into species or documenting conditions while their wives and sisters waited for them at home inside. Another autist might show their bizarre traits on the canvas, making things messes and scribbles and turning what was once reality into blobs and splotches. Sometimes discoveries are useful, a new poison or medicine or different way of being, but often lost, forgotten, unpopular, and useless. A cursed selfish mess of egoism. Where does autism begin and end? And do they deserve love in the modern world? Who says they aren't trying? And why shouldn't the masses decide everything anyways? I am trying to speak up about things they care about. Hiding, masking, betraying anything I really think about. Talking about anything while simultaneously nothing. Moving my mouth and making noises that are comfortable rather than fascinating or deep. Lying about things to make more normal people comfortable. Lying about enjoying things so other people can enjoy it more. Is it worse than missing a leg, an arm? It seems mild. It seems normal. I can escape, pretend I'm someone I'm not for a while. The imagination holds limitless things. Now with the internet and even portable bookshelves, I can memorize countless numbers, become an encyclopedia of some sorts. A little machine man rather than what a human is supposed to be. I mimic without knowing, without feeling. Normal people start this way too, but seem to get it faster. Something in the brain saves them from thinking of other possibilities, from thinking about exploring more. Forget about the past, don't worry too much about the future. Now is always dominated by the others rather than the self. Dominated so bad without even knowing it. Stuck in the herd and wave of domination, rich or poor, is the same impossible flow to overcome. Autists are lucky sometimes, exploited most of the time, however, to understand the mysteries of the universe. Both calculating mathematics and envisioning an overall system regarding coding or engineering requires a mind that's not quite from here. However, the fact that the mind isn't quite there means that they can't understand the social flow of those around them. We highly value you if you decide to work for a company or a corporation, but you're still less valuable than those that manage other people because in a world of 8 billion, there are enough other autists to replace you. Perhaps it's even worse to be an autistic artist or writer such as myself. Even if our prose or technique is strong, we often lack the things that normal people find relatable or entertaining. Many great artists are appreciated posthumously, but even then only by a handful of scholars, and even then in the strangest of manners, like Nietzsche's aphorisms or Heidegger's bizarre terminology. And yet the artist is dedicated and committed to their ideals, their crafts, unwilling to compromise. I desire to see how far autism blossoms. Some others do, but for most, it's a diversion, a distraction. Everything becomes taken for granted, doesn't it? Before computers and television, people found ways to kill time, amuse themselves. Perhaps autism is worth spreading knowledge instead of ignorance. It's best used to lie, best used to not try. And there's no conclusion to an autistic brain because things are endlessly fascinating if rearranged in strange ways. Even when no one's there to appreciate it, the autist says the tree has fallen if I'm the only one that sees it. Insanity and logic are two sides of the same coin for an autist. Not everything has to be regulated by social conditioning, after all.